All right, hey guys, welcome back to the Elliott Wave training. Cody Sell here. In this video, we're going to be talking about how these Elliott waves play together with Fibonacci and market structure. So what I want to do, and I have these Elliott waves drawn here from the previous video, I want to look at each of these waves one by one and quickly just discuss some really important points. So let's take this first smaller Elliott wave that we identified over here, and I'm going to make it, let's say, red, so you guys can see which series I'm talking about here. Now, typically the way Elliott's work is that they pull back. So wave 1 to 2 and then waves 3 to 4, those correction moves, they pull back to a Fibonacci retracement level, and then waves 2 to 3 and 4 to 5, those extension waves, they go to Fibonacci extension levels. That's typically what you would expect to see for a given Elliott wave sequence. And one other note for these Elliott wave sequences is that you would typically like to see them maintain structure throughout their move. Okay, so if you're trying to identify an Elliott wave in the chart and you notice that structure is not aligning with your wave count, you're probably using the wrong peaks and valleys for your wave. So let me show you what that means, because I know that can be a little complicated, especially if you're not used to Elliott waves. So let me start down here. So let's say that right here we are in bullish structure, okay, and our swing low is down here. Now when we come up and we retrace and then we move forward, obviously once we break this high, our structural point updates to this swing low here. And then we're going to, if you guys look at these lows that were created here for waves 3 to 4, you're going to see that structure actually held this entire time. We did not see a break in structure. And then it's not until after wave 5 completes, and then of course we see the reversal, that structure breaks. And even when you start to look at this this next one right here, let me make this maybe like a purple. You're going to notice that on the way down, as we make new swing lows here, structure is going to maintain the entire way. And after wave 5 completes, we see structure change and go bullish. Okay, so that is that's kind of what I'm talking about. And you guys can look at each of the sequences here. There's another really clear example right here in the middle. Let's make this one black, and you can see that structure maintains bullish the entire way. Even right here in the middle, we do not break structure. Okay, so that's what I mean by maintaining structure. If you're bullish, you should remain bullish, right? It makes pretty good sense. If you're in a bullish wave count and structure flips to bearish, something's probably wrong. So that's just a small note I wanted to put out there. But let's look at the Fibonacci's, because I think that's actually where things really get interesting. So let me zoom in here, and I'm going to make this a little bigger. Now, right off the bat, if we look at this first Elliott wave sequence here, and we pull up Fibonacci's, I have my 78.6 grayed in because I don't like it as much, but look how we did come to that 78.6. We had a 78.6 hold, and then we had a continuation. Now, I normally, when I'm looking at Elliott's, I'll look for a 27.2 completion where my wave 3 to 4 will start. In this case, we happened to push higher. Leg 3 was a much bigger move, but that's okay. Don't let that deter you. It will happen, but in general, as we're about to see, that 27.2 is a pretty good time to be getting out of your trades. So here we have wave 2 to 3. That's our move, and then you guys can see our retracement came down here, and we found 4 bottoms. We could not break and retest under this 23.6. Very normally insignificant Fibonacci retracement level, but it did hold here. And then notice how we had a pinpoint rejection at that point at the 27.2. So regardless of where we pull back, and guys, I'm talking about the red Elliott wave sequence here, regardless of where we do pull back, whichever one we pull back to, the 27.2 is a pretty likely target for this 4 to 5 leg and for the 2 to 3 leg as well. Again, because the 2 to 3 leg right here, or leg 3, however you want to look at it, is typically the largest leg, it will tend to overshoot the 27.2, but definitely, guys, on this leg 5 here, this wave 5, this 4 to 5 move, you want to be looking at 27.2 targets, okay? Let's take a look at this purple move here. I'm going to throw on some Fibonacci for our first move, and this one was really small, so let me get on in here. So we have our wave 1 down to here, and then we correct up. We bounce off the 38.2, and look what happens, guys. Wave 3 completes at the 27.2 extension. All right, and then let's go ahead and look at our wave 3 here. Pull this down. Wave 3 was pretty small here. All right, pull us across. So this is a good example, and this guy's actually right here. Instead of reaching the 27.2 extension, we had a triple bottom formation hold at the low. That's going to happen sometimes with Elliott waves, guys. Even though wave 5 is supposed to make a new low, it technically did on the lower time frame. You guys can see these wicks, and this was technically a lower close than we had before. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to skyrocket down to a new low. But importantly, you guys can see we did have a hold up here at the Fibonacci retracement, and then that was that. So it's good that you guys see areas where it's not perfect, okay? But now let's take a look at this much bigger move, because this is the easier one, and I'm going to get rid of these guys because I know that that's been bothering y'all trying to figure out which one I'm looking at. But let's take a look at this big one. I'm going to leave this one in here for a second. If we take a Fibonacci for right here, wave 1, we pull it across, we're going to look at something like this. So notice how after wave 1, right here, we came back and we held at the 61.8, and that's where we soared off, okay? Now, we're not going to quite make it to the 27.2 in this example, but do notice the consistency of the Fibonacci retracements and then going on to hit the extension. Let's take a look at the next move. Right, I'm going to just do it again here. We're going to look at wave 2 to 3, which concluded right here, pull it across. And notice how, again, we came back down to this 61.8 retracement, and we're going to conclude right up here at the 27.2 extension almost perfectly. You guys can see the peak in the valley here, and then we're gonna hold right there at that 27.2. So that's what we like to see. Obviously, as you guys just saw, we looked at several examples. Some Elliott wave sequences are more textbook than others, but that's typically what you're looking for. And I guess since we have it pulled up, let's take one final look at this Elliott wave right here in the middle. I don't need to do an Elliott wave analysis right here for you guys to know that we busted past the 27.2 extension. Why don't we take a look at this wave 3 here, leg 3, and see what that gives us. Okay, there we go. So we came back down. You guys can see the bounce off the 38.2, but ultimately we're going to hold at the 50. And then, boom, we shot right to this 27.2, and that concluded the Elliott wave sequence. We obviously went bearish for a while after that. So that was a good little example for you guys. So anyways, those are some good things to keep in mind with Elliott waves, guys. A, they follow Fibonacci very well, so make sure and brush up on your Fibonacci's. And 2, for any given Elliott wave sequence, because it can be difficult to identify what leg is which in the live market, just make sure that you are using swings that are aligned with your current structure. All right? Hope you guys got value from this, and I'll see you in the next video.